Okay, YouTube, so in today's episode I am working on a stand-up freezer. This is my stand-up freezer. I've had it since 2008. Had it for a long time and finally gave up its ghost. So the story goes, I was supposed to be up hunting with my brother and I got everything in my truck ready. Came into the house, wanted some ice cream, opened up my freezer, and voila! All my ice cream melted, and I was screaming for ice cream, and it wasn't good. So I called my brother and I said, "Hey, bro, my freezer broke. I can't come because everything is gonna melt and everything is gonna spoil." So he says, "Bro, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do." So I gotta do what I gotta do, and I didn't go, because if I would have gone, the whole thing in here would have rot. Okay, my meat. So anyway, yesterday and today, this morning, my wife and I went and bought a new freezer, and we installed the new freezer into where this thing was, and so the story goes, I was gonna throw this away, but I said to my wife, "Wife, let me see if I could fix this thing." So my wife says, "Okay, hubby." So here I am. I had my wife clean out the fridge, and she did that. Okay, so she cleaned out the fridge, and so I decided, okay, so I'm gonna wash it down and see what I could do. So I washed it down, and I noticed that there was ice on the bottom here. Okay, where the laser light is, the laser is. And here it was iced up like glacier ice, okay? And that little hole right there was clogged up. So I said, how the heck does that happen, So I said, okay, well, let's try to figure this out. So I thought real hard, and I said, okay, well, this is a pandemic time right here. And through the summer, my wife has been stuffing this thing with food. And the bottom here was all stuffed with food and stuff like that. So I figure, because of my wife, she keeps stuffing food in here, it could have been that the food was preventing proper air circulation. Because if you look at the backing here, okay, this backing right here, okay, this piece right here is screwed onto here. It covers the evaporator coil, the fan right here, okay, it covers it up. And this little slot right here, okay, it's designed to suck in air from the bottom here, okay, where the laser is, and it travels through the little fins of my evaporator coil here, and how it does that is because there's a fan right here, okay, it sucks air through here, into here, and then it goes up to that little register or vent right here, and it blows it out. So it's constantly circulating like this, okay? So my theory is that my wife was stuffing too much food into here, and it was blocking the ventilation. And so because of that, because this is a freezer, it has a de-icing episode. And so whenever this thing de-ice, it thaws up this evaporator coil. When it thaws it up, the moisture from this evaporator coil drops down, okay, comes down like water, and because that thing is clogged, okay, it puddles up right here because it's sort of concave right here. So it puddles up and it flows out this way, okay. And so when I took this thing out, took it apart, that thing was clogged. I poured hot water in there and it declogged and fixed everything. This is what I did to the other side. So that hole, that drain hole, okay, comes here. Okay, it comes to right here. Okay, I took this thing out like that, and let's see, I also took this part out. I don't know if you can see, but right there, I took this part out, the same way I took this part out. Okay, so I took it out and washed it out. I also took this little pan right here. This is where the water comes from here. It travels down this little tube and into this pan right here. So this pan right here is basically on top of the evaporator coil right here. I mean, not the evaporator coil, on top of the compressor. And the heat from the compressor warms it up and evaporates whatever is in this pan right here, water. So that's the idea. And so I cleaned the pan, I cleaned this hose right here, unclogged everything, and then I plugged this compressor in, and right now it's humming like a little baby. So let's go back to the other side. Once I plugged that in, I started noticing that it started to produce ice. So this little thing right here, these are capillary tube. Okay, this in itself is the expansion valve. Okay, when it comes from this thing comes from the from the compressor, and right now anything that comes through this little line right here, it is liquefied. Okay, the compressor compressed the Freon, liquefies it to this point right here. Okay, and once it hits this point, it flashes. The liquid turns into vapor. Okay, when that does happen, it becomes cold. Okay, it becomes cold because of a change of phase, and the Freon changes and it becomes cold, and it travels down the gamut here. Okay, it travels down here, back to the other side, and back to this big line right here. Okay, and it goes back to the compressor. Okay, and that's how the process repeats. So because it changes phase throughout here, okay, it exchanges heat. Okay, it absorbs heat, and that's how you get cold air, because the heat is absorbed into the Freon. Okay, and that's that. So how this thing became clogged, I don't know, but like I said, it was because of probably improper ventilation due to overstuffing it with food. So whenever this little element right here, this is a heating element right here. Okay, it has a de-icing cycle. This little element right here, when it turns on, it heats up everything here and makes everything liquid. It liquefies all the ice here. So it's all iced up right now. Okay, you can see the ice in here, and so the ice melts, goes into there, that little hole right here, and somehow this thing was clogged, and so that's how the story went bad. But let's check out how cold this point is. This is at 14.9 degrees, 30 degrees, 32 degrees right here, 28. Okay, because that's where it's flashing, and not flashing, but this is where the Freon flashes. It changes phase, it goes into here, and the coil is reading negative degrees right here, which is really good. That's what I want. So guys, if your refrigerator or your freezer stops working on you, check this thing out, guys. Check to see if you have a clog area here. Check to see if your heating element here works, and yeah, and then plug it back in. So this thing's working. I'm so happy. I'm not going to get rid of this, because this could be used to store other items like meat. So that's that, guys.